Guys, what is going on? John Anthony here, Chair Shot Sports. Wow, I don't even know where to start right now. This is, I had 1,400 plans for this podcast right now, but the pod, after the press conference in Las Vegas for WrestleMania 40, I am, I am beside myself. I am in the clouds. I have more questions than answers. I don't even know where to start. So let's um let's get a handle on everything. Before we get into our feels, let's just kind of do a recap, kind of what I wanted to do, more condensed than I wanted to. Um, since the last time we talked, obviously go way back to SmackDown, um, and actually Raw, where Cody comes out, Seth comes out, talks to Cody, tells Cody, "Listen, I'm the guy you want. Come talk to me. Come take this title. This is the title. This is the workhorse title. Come take it from me. Let's go." Cody says, "I'll take it on an advisement." SmackDown comes around. Cody shows up. "Roman, you're the guy I want. I need that belt. I need to finish my story. I need it. My dad had it. I need to have it. I need to get it for the family. This finishes my story." But I took counsel with this man. And here comes The Rock. Rock comes down the ring. Boom. Talks to Cody. Whispers some sweet nothings into his ear. Cody leaves. Boom. And we're left with more questions and answers. Again. Here comes Raw. Seth again. Cody again. Here comes Drew. Drew interjecting himself, saying that he should have a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Again, more questions and answers. Nothing gets solved. An amazing bull rope match. An amazing bull rope match between Shinsuke and Cody Rhodes. Amazing homage to his old man. Dusty would have been so proud of that match. Awesome. Awesome job. Cody goes over, gets his ass kicked by Drew. I get it. It happens. Then we fast forward over to SmackDown. This week, what's going to happen? Well, before we get there, we have what happened tonight. And this press conference has me reeling. Reeling on every account of anything. I want to talk about AEW. I definitely want to talk about TNA. So let's start there real quick, and then we'll merge into what's going on with the Rock, Roman, Cody story. Let's first start with TNA. Unfortunately, Scott DAmore has been terminated from Anthem Sports. He's been let go from his position as president and GM of TNA Wrestling. At the time, it looked like a situation where he stepped down, took himself out of the equation for no rhyme or reason. For someone who's been with the company for 20 years and has had more of an on-screen presence as a talent, manager, and then the GM of that company. Scott DAmore can sit there and pat himself on the back and thank himself for taking then Impact Wrestling out from the graveyard, rising it up, and making it into TNA Impact again. Brand new titles. A hell of a new roster of talent. Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali. You got Alexander. You got Moose. You got these guys they've been there since day one, and they've put their blood, sweat, and tears on the line because they believed in this product. And what happens? Scott DAmore allegedly asked for more money and says, "Guys, we got to go out here. We got to acquire some more talent. We got to get some more guys on this roster. We got to be competitive." And what does Anthem do? Anthem says, "You know what? Thank you for your services. We wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors." They send him packing. They send him packing. Listen, if you listen, if you follow my Twitter, if you listen to the podcast, you watch your YouTube, you'll know I, I am all about all of the wrestling. I like and talk shit about WWE. I like and talk shit about AEW. I like and talk shit about TNA. All of it. I love all of it. But I also will criticize it when I have to. But the fact that TNA has come so far in the past 6 months that they go on a full-fledged rebrand into this, and then your parent company fires Scott DAmore. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. This is almost the first nail in the proverbial coffin for the now TNA wrestling. I just don't know how you come back from this. It's reported that talent isn't happy. When the now management has tried to talk to the talent, talk to the locker room, they don't want to hear it. They block them out. They don't want to answer any questions. It's a don't worry what we're doing. Just go to work. Do what you gotta do. That doesn't work. Ask Eric Bischoff. Doesn't work. Nope. You gotta give your talent answers. You gotta give your talent reassurances. They need to know whoever their leader is has their best interests in mind. And that's exactly what Scott had for TNA. The most passionate and unbiased promoter that I've seen in a long time. A very close second to Triple H. Scott DAmore lived, breathed, and apparently died for this product. And now here we are. A post TNA that has great belts, has great champions, amazing talent, has an amazing roster. Amazing roster. But does the roster believe in its leader? No leader. No real leadership. Nobody they can really count on and know that somebody in that front office has their back and looks out for them and knows that the vision and that the future is bright. Right now, the future is cloudy. As a wrestling fan, I can tell you right now, that sucks. It sucks. It does. I'm dating myself right now, and I've said this before. I remember getting TNA on pay-per-view for $4.99 ordering on pay-per-view to watch their weekly shows. That's how far back I go. That's Baby Styles. Baby Styles. Baby Samoa Joe. Everything. All these guys that you guys know and love, I've seen in their most smallest Pokemon form before they evolved into anything in this wrestling business. I was watching them. So as someone as a wrestling fan sees this, and I watch this, and I see TNA resurrect themselves out, and I see these new belts. Jordan Grace is in the Royal Rumble. In the WWE Royal Rumble. You're not going to tell me that this product has rockets on their back? And then a week later, you fire your GM. You fire the guy that's led the charge up to this point. But here comes corporate. Here come the deep pockets, thinking they know better. Here comes Anthem. How'd that work out for you? Ask Dixie Carter. How'd that work out for you? What happened last time you guys tried to do this? Ask Jeff Jarrett. You guys wanted to pair companies and try to build that up with your Global Force Wrestling. How'd that work out for you? Scott was on the front lines fighting this battle for years. And finally had enough talent and enough bullets in the chamber to pull the trigger and get back to the TNA brand that was known 20 years ago. And what do? You let them go. Folks, I can't speak to what's going to happen for TNA. The new director's come out. He's talked about it. He said he has nothing but the best interest in mind for TNA and their talent. They also said that they expect some talent to want to leave because of changes in upper management, which is horrible. I mean, I like it to the WWE when Vince was first fired. Then he came back, elected back to the board. Um, some people wanted to leave. Jay White was one of them. Jay White was WWE bound. He was dead in. Nope. Vince, whoop. Nope. See ya. Over to the AEW. So, um, on this podcast, what I can tell you is I wish nothing but the best for Scott DAmore. And I want to thank Scott for his years of dedication and for giving me and everybody else who appreciate TNA a product that we can be proud of, love to watch, and be excited to see every single week. So with that being said, I hope Scott lands on his feet. I mean, obviously AEW is a destination. WWE is also a destination as well as a producer, an on-air talent, whatever he wants to do. But I really do hope on the TNA side, I really do hope that that the talent land on their feet, I guess. And for everyone out there, I also see on Twitter a lot. I see a lot of folks trying to boycott TNA. Don't do that. Listen. I'm telling you right now. If you're listening to me on Spotify, you're watching me right now on YouTube. Listen, don't do it. Don't boycott TNA. What are you doing? That talent's still going out there busting their ass week in and week out, giving you an amazing product, telling amazing stories, and fighting for those championships. Just because Anthem wants to make a decision that isn't right, in my opinion, and I'm sure in the common court of a lot of other people, okay? There's no reason to stop watching the brand, okay? These wrestlers still deserve a platform and still deserve to have eyes on them for however long they're in that company. And dropping those ratings is just more so going to put them back into the Stone Age of wherever Scott got them to be. So continue to support them. Does it suck Scott's there? Absolutely it sucks. But listen, there's one thing I can tell you, and I put it on Twitter. I put an open invitation for Scott to come on our podcast. I'd love to speak to him, even if it's for 5 minutes. There's one thing I know I can tell you I wish you would want is for you to keep watching that product and supporting TNA. TNA. Cross the line. Watch that product. And if you're watching this right now and you haven't watched them, do yourself a favor. Turn them on Thursday nights. I know it's hard to find them. They're not on a lot of cable channels. But if you got them on YouTube and you can find them somewhere in your cable channels, watch them. Amazing work. They're awesome. And for WWE people, Dolph Ziggler's there. Mustafa Ali. There's a lot of people there that you'll recognize. And a lot of other talent. If you haven't seen them before, they will surprise the hell out of you and definitely make you want to tune in week after week. Speaking of tuning in week after week, pivoting over from TNA over to AEW. AEW and Tony Khan had an amazing announcement this week. Kept it very much under wraps. We were one of the first pages on Twitter to break the story. Obviously, us here at Chairshot Sports, we are based in the Northeast area in Massachusetts. It was announced from the TD Garden that AEW will be holding a pay-per-view in March. And this kind of segued into into Tony Khan's major announcement. We shared it out there. We let him know. Obviously, we tagged TD Garden in that. Come to find out, night goes on. Here comes the day. AEW comes, and then here we go. And Tony Khan announcing that emanating from the TD Garden will be AEW Big Business. I'm guessing it's a very high-profile show and or low-key pay-per-view, televised. For those of you that are under a rock or have no idea, Mercedes Moné, a.k.a. Sasha Banks, has been in negotiations with AEW and WWE. For what we can see, from what I've seen and what we shared on Twitter, Mercedes Moné is AEW bound. If you take a look at our Twitter, you can see in the profile and in the header that they showed on AEW. It shows the TD Garden, and right in the center it says Boston but it's spelled Boss Tin, and the SS is with dollar signs. Homage to Sasha Banks, Boss Time. So, luckily for me, tickets go on sale Saturday. We actually got a pre-sale code that just came through a little while ago. Chair Shot Sports will be there. We're working on getting our press passes now. So we're very excited to see Sasha Banks debut. But I don't think it's going to be the only one. I think someone else or a couple other people will come out. I've been very active in talking about Okada going to WWE. So I don't think Okada is going to be debuting. Calling my shot now. If MJF surgery went well, you're looking at 8, 13, about 10 weeks worth of recovery. So if he debuts, comes back, that still gives him about 15 to 17 weeks before he even has to get into a ring, aside from cutting promos and things like that. So you could see MJF debut. A couple other folks. I'm sure if Tony has anything up his sleeve, this is his. So what I like to liken this to, I feel like, so for years, WWE, after WrestleMania, they have their huge, they have their night, the night after WrestleMania, where a lot of guys debut, a lot of new signees, a lot of new storylines take place. Well, obviously, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So for the people that are now started migrating over to AEW, now for Tony Khan, a lot of them have worked for WWE. If you haven't noticed in the past 4 to 12 weeks, if you have noticed in the display, in the way that the television is presented, the way that they do interviews, the overall whole dichotomy of the product has gotten better. And like I've said before, I like to say this because this is only our second episode on YouTube. If you listen to the podcast, you've heard this a lot before. We're equal opportunity here. I will praise AEW. I'll praise WWE. I'll also shit on them when I need to. Okay, so this isn't a space where you come in, you go in my comments, and you crap all over them. Listen, we watch the product. We watch the product. We enjoy the product, and we talk about it how we need to. Okay, so with that being said, AEW has gotten significantly since the whole devil angle that just bombed. Probably the worst angle in a long time that bombed in wrestling. It's probably right up there with the retribution angle that they had planned. This whole play out, and then we're putting guys in masks and we got slapjack. Here we go. And T-bar. Great. I feel like Tony has taken counsel with a lot of people ever since the whole gender fiasco on Twitter. I feel like Tony might have put down the phone. I think he's realized that's not the way to get the viewers. That's not the way to get people to watch your product and get people engaged. So, I feel like, so I say all that to close the circle. I say this, that I feel like big business might become something that is a staple after Revolution. It's their form of their Monday after WrestleMania. So I think big business is going to debut Sasha, aka Mercedes Moné. You might see 1 or 2 other wrestlers that they're bringing back, coming back from injury, things like that. Excuse me. So, I feel like that's the angle we're going. So, like I said, I'm very lucky that they're coming to Boston. They're doing this in Boston, Massachusetts, because it's right down the road for me. And I'm going there. I'm going to see it. Hopefully we get some press passes. We're able to meet some people. But regardless of all else, I'm going to be there when Mercedes debuts for AEW. So we're very excited about that. Speaking about AEW, to stay on that page real quick to talk about it, because this, like I said, this whole presser in Vegas kind of screwed up my entire show. Kind of hijacked it. This past week on AEW was very decent match. First of all, props up and shouts out to Sting, grabbing AEW gold along with Darby Allin. They were able to capture the AEW Tag Team Championship gold. Good for them. Then attacked by the new heel version of the Young Bucks, the EVPs. So that was an amazing match to watch. Great spots from Sting. Sting can still go. And man, do Sting's kids look like him. Can we talk about that for a second? Man, Yeah, wow, they are carbon copies. Wow. But yeah, no, it's awesome. They're in shape too. Woo, man. Get them in a wrestling ring. I'm hoping that they have something to do at Revolution with them because that would be awesome. Um, so that happened. Um, there was also a number one contenders match between Hangman Page and also Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland, huge fan. Chairshot Sports, huge fan of Swerve Strickland. Um, they just barely missed the cutoff time for the match. So with that being said, Tony Khan went ahead and made the main event at Revolution a three-way dance between Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Hangman Page, which is going to be a banger. A banger. That match is going to be amazing. Not going to give our predictions yet. Holding on to that. That'll be a separate show in a couple weeks when you talk about Revolution. But that is going to be amazing. So kudos again to Sting and Darby grabbing that out, and also an amazing main event you have for Revolution now. With that being said, um, awesome. So we talked about AEW, we talked about Impact, Scott DAmore. So I just got to spend the rest of this episode. We got to talk about this presser. This presser was amazing. Can we talk about how they literally opened the T-Mobile Arena for free? Just come on down, check us out. They literally filled the place up more so than AEW fills up their arenas for shows. They filled it up like it was a Raw or a SmackDown. Crazy, amazing. The camera's panning over the hard side, the regular side, the hard cam side, whatever. The place is packed. They have the screen set up like it's a Raw. Crazy stuff, man. Amazing. An amazing panel. You had CM Punk there with his bionic arm all screwed up, just gotten surgery on. The man, Big E, is there. We got Pat McAfee and, of course, Michael Cole, the coal miners, all ready to go. So already a goated panel just to talk to everybody about what's going on. So I do miss CM Punk on commentary. I really do. That guy can go. He can talk. He said it before. His arm hurts, but his mouth isn't broken, and neither is his mind. So he can talk and talk and talk and piss plenty of people off. Pat McAfee, I think, is doing really well, acclimating himself back into the WWE. I feel like this past Raw, he was a little off. I know the jokes were a little weird. Just trying to be his slap happy self. But I've been giving it 2 or 3 weeks, and he'll find himself right back into where he needs to be. I feel like he got a huge deal coming back to WWE, especially with the deal that they inked with Netflix. I think Pat's going to be an amazing way to go moving forward. Last I heard, Cole is down to 84%. Is up or down, however you want to look at it. 84% of his hearing is gone. He's down to 16%. They say he has 2 to 3 years left. They have the special hearing aids, things like that, ready for him so he can hear when he does commentary. So again, as someone who's listened to Michael Cole, and I've watched Michael Cole be a backstage guy for years, getting humiliated by The Rock. So it brings a tear to my eye, and it's sentimental to see someone like an amazing gift of gab, an amazing voice of WWE, to have to be suffering from a hearing issue that eventually can't hear what they're saying or hear what they're doing, getting, obviously content into their ear. They can't hear that. It's sad to see that, and it's sad to hear that. But I digress. So with this panel, they run through what we're going to do. We open it up. Here we go. Here comes Bianca Belair out here talking, doing her thing, yada, yada, yada. I like the Bianca thing. I think it was a little bit of a weird move. Bianca didn't win the Rumble. I get it. Bianca's on the cover of 2K. Bianca also has a great show with Montez. It's really weird to have her at the presser. I know she's a great look, a great draw. People want to see her, but it's one of those things where why? What are we doing? You could have had Nia come out. Nia could have talked up her, for their match with Rhea. Could have had someone else come out. But not for nothing, I get it. She talked about the show. She talked about a lot of other stuff, so I get it. And I love how she also dropped the Sasha Banks. The Sasha Banks name got dropped. Love that too. Loved it. So nothing but love from both companies because we support that here. All the inner brands, everyone, they're all wrestlers. They all love it. MJF said that I think 4 or 5 months ago when he was on the talk show. You guys out here, and you know who I'm talking about. I see you on Twitter. You all follow me. I see you guys. I'll put a post up. If WWE and AEW guys hating on me, same like AEW, WWE guys hating on me. Listen, they're all friends. You guys are the ones in your basements on your keyboards, type it away, type it away, type it away, making it an issue. They're all friends. Everyone wants to see someone succeed. I am 1,000% in this chair week after week, and I'll tell you in this screen, on this mic, I'll tell you that I am so effing happy that the product is great on both ends. I want AEW to succeed. I want them to be 1,000 times better. Because you know what that means? You know what that means? Papa H and Nick have to sit down at the creative table with whoever else is at that table, at the head of the table, look at each other and go, what do we do now? That's what we want. That's what you should want as a wrestling fan. If you're over, I'm gonna get my soapbox for a second. And I'm gonna put the presser to the side. If you watch this channel, listen, do me a favor. Do me a favor. If you're one of those AEW or WWE guys and you don't like the other one, just don't follow us. Don't even watch me. Okay? I don't need your down comments. I don't need your thumbs down and your stupid comments about WWE, AEW. It doesn't matter. If you're watching this podcast, you should be a fan of wrestling. This is the best time. Listen, I'm going to be 40 years old in a couple months, okay? I wasn't exactly alive for the Hogan era, but I was alive for Attitude. I'll tell you that much. My first Raw was at the Springfield Civic Center. I saw The Rock come out, do his thing against The Undertaker. Never forget that in my life. And I've been to countless pay-per-views, countless PLEs, countless house shows. Yes for AEW, yes for WWE. I've been to them all. I've met countless wrestlers. If you follow my Twitter, you'll see that. Countless. Jericho, LAX, all of them. EC3 from over in NWA. All of them. I've met so many wrestlers, and we talk, and the one thing that they all say to me, they look at me and they go, "Well, do you watch all wrestling?" I go, "Yeah, of course I watch all wrestling." And they're like, "Well, you're in the rare breed, man, because a lot of guys they're in the tribalism and they're just one-sided." And I'm like, I know it sucks. And I try to use this podcast and this YouTube channel as a way to bring us all together. You don't like what I'm saying? Tune me out. Tune me out for 4 minutes. You don't like what I'm talking about, the AEW or the WWE? If you don't watch them, if you haven't watched them and you just have this like weird perception about them, watch them. Give it a shot, man. Listen, I watch wrestling. God bless my wife. Okay? I watch wrestling Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Thursdays whenever I can pull up Impact on my computer, okay? Like, I watch it all. Yeah, some of it sucks. A lot of AEW sucked for a while, okay? And there's some WWE that sucks, man. But you know what? AEW is getting a lot better, and when AEW gets better, WWE gets better. Especially this time of year, WWE is cooking. And if you're not watching if you're not watching NXT on USA, you're missing out. They're probably one of the best shows right now on cable for wrestling. Okay, and again, I'm gonna get the hate from oh, what about Collision? Oh, what about no. NXT is cooking, man. Collision is a off branch of Dynamite that you make a CM Punk need his own fucking show. Okay, don't give me that BS. All right, and now you kept it going, which is amazing. And you have your own stuff going on over there, and that's awesome. And they showcase a lot of great wrestling. NXT, these are some green people, green wrestlers. WCW back in the day had the power plant. They brought them up and they put them on Thunder. things like that. This is WWE has NXT, and it's funny when I see these people criticizing NXT. Oh my God, look at them! They botched. It's botch central. What is it? They're newbies. That's what that's that's what it's for. That's what NXT is for. That's why they do this. They're supposed to screw up. You go out there, hey, just so you don't think Michaels is in the back. Hey, listen, if you screw this up, it's live. So just so you know, like you can screw up, you're gonna own it big. It's live TV. What does AEW have? Dynamite? I'm sorry, I apologize. Rampage? Rampage is taped. Things go wrong on Rampage, they can edit it out. They can move on, do something else. So I say all that to just listen. If this is your first time listening to us, first of all, shoot us a subscribe, give us a like, give me a chance. I'm not just much of a dick and talking about everyone watch everything, but I just want to be here, make you laugh, talk about wrestling, and kind of bring the wrestling world together. That's I think it's what we need right about now. We need some togetherness, and everyone's just having a great time watching wrestling because it's a great time to be a wrestling fan right now. Whether you're on the road to WrestleMania, whether you're on the road to Revolution, or you're on the NWA or the TNA road, it's a great time right now with 4 different promotions you can watch. And if you're a New Japan guy, you got five you can watch. So, regardless, I digress. I apologize. I'm off my soapbox. Here we go. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Back over to the Las Vegas presser that we had. So Bianca gets done. She does her thing. Sorry, some quick notes. Comes out, talks, does her thing. Here we go. Here comes Rhea Ripley. Amazing look as always. Obviously, you want her out there. Perth is coming up with the Elimination Chamber. Here comes Becky Lynch. I think that's probably going to be your go home. If I had to pick an early winner, we're going to do a prediction show in a week or so. But if I had to pick an early winner, Becky Lynch it's probably going to be Becky and Rhea. I think she's going to slay Nia at Elimination Chamber. And for the record, Nia is doing an amazing job. Nia, I think, obviously she's a bigger girl. She's Samoan. Her first run, she's lost a ton of weight. Done an amazing job on the mic, in the ring, just overall character-wise. What she's done, she's come back. I think she's done great. They've built her as such a monster and such a dominant performer. They almost put her as like a final boss kind of person, whereas Rhea was the final boss. But I do think best for business. I think you need to get that belt off for Rhea. I do know, obviously, Paul, Triple H likes the long term. He likes telling the story. Not to kill the hashtag. Also for 2K. But he likes the long term. He likes making the belts have meaning. And I get doing that after the old regime with VKM now departing the company and TKO taking over with Triple H's vision, Nick Khan's vision, and how Ari sees it as well. So I think I like, UFC does, obviously UFC's real. All right. You like guys to hold the belts 4, 5, 6, 7 months, 15, 14, 17, 18 defenses in a row. Nobody's beating them. Here we go. Let's buy the pay-per-view. WWE is starting to adapt that. Okay. Let's have Gunther go 16 plus days. Let's have Roman go, 1,500 plus days. Let's have him challenge for Hogan's record. Let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can even see it now because even when these guys come out with their titles, you can see that it shows champion for X amount of days. They do it with Logan Paul. They do it with the Judgment Day. They do it with all these people that have the belts. Same thing with Seth. So I like that Rhea coming out. I like Becky talking to her, but I think Mania, you're going to see a reset. I'm not saying everyone's going to win a belt, month after month, every other month you're going to see a new champion, but I don't think you're going to see the 6, 7, 800 days like you're seeing right now with Gunther and that stuff. But I do like how Trips did want to put prestige back into these belts and showing that if you want, it means something when you win this belt. When you win the belt, okay, it means something. You're not a transitional champion. You're not a paper champion. You're not just some guy that holds the belt for 90 days and we go into the next pay per view and boom, you drop it because it makes sense. And not for nothing. Like, I mean, we can obviously sit here and, we can, if we want to talk about, I have this stuff planned for post WrestleMania. But obviously, when Gunther loses that Intercontinental Championship, whoever it's to, whether it's Jay, whether it's Gable, whoever it's to, it's obviously not going to be Brock Lesnar. So, whoever he loses this belt to, they get the rocket put onto them. They're strapped and go to the top. What happens to Gunther? The guy just held the belt for almost 700 days. Guess what happens to him? Oh, he just slides himself into the World Heavyweight Championship title match now. Like the guy's a monster. So it's these belts make these people undoubtedly undeniable in their quest to get gold. So the days of the VKMs and other writers where we'll give someone a belt for like 2 months and they're like, oh, there you go, he's the next world champion. No. F that. No. You gotta hold the belt for like 2 years. And okay, now you're worthy. Now you're worthy of challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now you're worthy of challenging for the Undisputed Championship. Things like that. And those are some things that you really got to give a credit to Paul and to Nick and to instilling that prestige and that tradition back into those belts. So with that being said, I think the Nia and the Rhea match is going to be awesome. Rhea retains in a very close match. I don't think there's really any nefarious things that go on there. I think Nia's going to go for the Annihilator, and I think it's going to be a kick out. And then Rhea's going to go for her big spot. Drop her down a Riptide. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Here we go. And I think it's going to be Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania. Night 1 or 2 is undetermined. We don't know that yet. I'm not calling that yet. But it'll be one of the two. Also very excited for the Becky EO match. Amazing. I've said it on Twitter. I've talked about it. Her face turn is going to be amazing, and it's just the start. It's just the start. I had the privilege of being at the Money in the Bank when Becky won the match and also cashed in the briefcase at the same time. Was amazing to see. Amazing pop. It was great to be able to witness history. So it's a special place in my heart when Becky goes for her. When Bayley's going for her cashing in, going for her belts. So it's a special place to see her cash in and win on the same night is amazing. With that being said, obviously the U.S. title, Intercontinental, the tag teams, we'll get into all that in the coming weeks. Let's talk about the matter that has taken over social media for the past 4 or 5 days. If you've been on Twitter, you've seen one of two hashtags. You've seen, we want Cody, we want Rock. You're in one of two camps. You've been pigeonholed, whether you liked it or not. See the shirt? That's Rock. See the belt? That's Rock. Right? What you don't see is, see the two belts behind me? The old school belts? Both signed by Cody Rhodes. What you don't see is me meeting Cody Rhodes. I'm a fan of both. This is a tough spot. I grew up watching Dwayne Johnson electrify. I had the glasses. If you smell, did the whole thing, the whole nine. Did the whole talking and everything like that. I'll use all his catchphrases, all that stuff. It was great. Cody, I've followed Cody ever since he left WWE. And I'm not saying, I'm like, oh, I'm one of those guys. I forgot about him on the indies and whatnot. But when All In happened and AEW started, I watched AEW for Cody Rhodes. That was it. It opened up my eyes to the Young Bucks and Omega and people like that. That's how I kind of got on the AEW train. But I followed Cody. And I've watched Cody. Huge fan. When he came back at WrestleMania, it was amazing to see that happen. But at the end of the day, and it's easy for me to say this to you watching this, and you folks that are listening to me right now. I'm not saying I knew it all along, but I definitely had an inkling that this wasn't it. On SmackDown, when The Rock comes down and they do the whole Rocky handshake and they whisper sweet nothings into each other's ears, and Cody walks away, it gave instantaneously, without a doubt on my kids, it gave me Daniel Bryan vibes from 10 years ago. Whatever they were trying to do, whatever they were trying to muster up, WWE was trying to get Cody Rhodes into some kind of pigeonholed, square goes into triangle, yes movement. AKA now in 2024, the Cody movement. And lo and behold, let's fast forward to a couple hours ago when we just witnessed on Peacock, YouTube, X, TikTok, wherever you watched it, you saw it. You saw what happened. Roman and Rock went into business for each other, with each other, to have a bloodline main event. They didn't even talk about it being for the title. It was just a matter of Rock and Roman solidifying the bloodline in the main event, going to business for themselves. So what happened? Here comes Cody. Here we go. No pomp and circumstance. No cool entrance. No cool music. Cody comes out. This is bullshit. Looks at Rock. Looks at Roman. Screw you. Looks at Rock. I talk to you, but screw you too. Looks at both of them. How would your family feel? How would your grandfather feel? Looks at Dwayne. How would the High Chief feel? Oh, yeah. I'm telling you right now, I was sitting on my couch, mouth open. I could not believe that somebody actually brought up Peter Maivia to The Rock. That you might as well have brought up Soul Man Rocky Johnson and talked about him. That wild. This is giving me vibes. Like I mean, for those of you that have watched wrestling for years, you know where they blur the line of the kayfabe, the real, the reality, the fake, the scripted, the not scripted, the shooting from the hip, the going into business. This is wild. This is wild. I'm sure 95% of this was planned. The look, I know he's an actor, okay? The look on Roman and Rock's face when Cody brought up the ancestors, especially Peter Maivia, to The Rock. I'm pretty sure The Rock would have put his foot through Cody's stomach. An amazing, amazing sell job if it's all fake. I don't know if it is. I don't know. Maybe they were like, okay, just go out there and say some stuff about the family. And Cody just came out with some great lines. And we just wanted to get some awesome real-time reactions because Roman looked flabbergasted. Rock, pissed off to all hell. It's like you just insulted his daughters. Wow. And if you watch too, if you went ahead and you checked out, if you kept watching and you saw when The Rock walked by Paul, told Paul to effing fix it, because if he doesn't, they will. That just builds off of all the things, you know. And it's really, again, the sidebar. It's really sad with Paul having the pacemaker and the heart issues from all the years of wrestling and all the regimens. And, you know, I don't want to say steroids because, you know, I don't want to suggest that. But if that's what it's from, I mean, just his heart not being as strong as it needs to be for an everyday work schedule. It's sad because I really, if you go back and watch the promos of like, of Paul and The Rock in the back, in the locker room, cutting their promo about, oh, anytime, you tell me, you name the Wrestlemania, I'm gonna whoop that candy, I'll put you down. It would have been cinema. Pure cinema. Amazing mashup, Triple H and Rock after all this time. And even Rock says, he goes, oh yeah, down the road. Doesn't even matter, just down the road. Almost like they were foreshadowing to today, to now. I, for one, will not sit here and tell you that I think Triple H will take any kind of measure like that to put his own life on the line for his three daughters and Stephanie at home. I would not wish that, and I would hope that that is not someone that will. I mean, if VKM was still in charge, he would tell Paul, "Go take a shot. Go ahead, man. Get in the ring. Let's do it. It's best for business. Go sell some tickets." But I'm sure TKO and Nick is like, "Dude, Paul, we can have you as a guest referee. You might be able to be in a corner. You're not wrestling, bro." So that remains to be seen. That story remains to be told. So we'll see what happens. Um, but aside from that, I think it was amazing. Um, Early takeaways, if we can talk about it. The fact that Seth Rollins was kind of just hanging out, like like a like a pimple on someone's ass. Like everything was over. Like it was literally a 10-minute segment between Cody and Roman and The Rock, and Seth is just kind of hanging out, holding his belt. And the fact that after everyone else leaves, Seth is pretty much telling Rock and Roman, like, F you, can't do what you want. F you, I'm done with you guys. You guys are a-holes. I'm keeping this PG because I don't want my podcast to get censored. Or my YouTube. We just started. um, but yeah, so I feel like if early takeaways, I'm thinking that night one, you're looking at a tag match. I think you're looking at Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman. And then you move on to night two, and that's where Cody and Roman are going to face off. I don't know who Seth is going to face right now. With tonight, what's happening with Cody going to SmackDown, obviously to face Roman, that leaves Seth with no opponent. I mean, yes, one would think Drew McIntyre. Obviously, that's the one. I'm sure I can tell you right now. Mark this down. We're recording this right now on a Thursday. I can guarantee you on Monday, before we have our next episode, Drew is gonna either open the show or come on Seth while he's talking and tell him that he's the only true champion, like only challenger to the champion now. I think there are a couple other people who might be able to challenge for that belt. There is I mean, I've heard it and I've thought it. There is there's the Gunther Seth double champion match. I mean, that if you want to solidify Gunther as your main event guy for years to come, you do it. I mean, you have him go Ultimate Warrior, and you have him win. You have him be the IC champion and win the the World Heavyweight Championship. That's also a way to go. And aside from all of this, like, let me again just like sidestep this and go another route and just talk about the fact that I don't. What none of us know, myself, my team, or anyone listening to this right now, unless you work for WWE and you're in that meeting, like none of us know exactly where they pivoted or where they had to change. Was The Rock always meant to align himself with Roman and give it back to Cody? Was it? So what if CM Punk never got hurt? That's obviously CM Punk and Seth Rollins. That's obviously your match for WrestleMania. That's why Punk should have won the Rumble. Was Punk thrown out when he got hurt and whispered to Cody, "You got to throw me out. I can't win this. You need to win this match." Did something come into one of the refs' ears? Tell Cody to throw Punk out. We'll figure it out on the fly. Where did it happen? Because if you're going to sit there and tell me that for months we planned on Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble, and whether he's going to go finish the story or not, but he wins the Royal Rumble and then comes out and gives his spot to The Rock after The Rock just got appointed to the TKO board, and a lot of that obviously has to be intertwined with VKM, and that we're not even going to talk about that. I've wanted to have an episode on it. We're not going to talk about it. Read the dirt sheets, read the internet, read the New York Post. You can read about plenty of what's going on with him. Um, but at what point did they were like, oh, I, we need him on. We need him to win. No, no, no. We need him to win. I'm sure The Rock at that point was going to be brought in to be an enforcer for Roman, or maybe if there wasn't a backlash like there was for Roman, or I'm sorry, The Rock against Roman, the way it was, the most unliked YouTube video in WWE history. Over 500,000 dislikes onto that video. You're not going to tell me someone at WWE didn't see that? Didn't hear that? Didn't hear the hashtag We Want Cody? And wasn't afraid of WrestleMania being hijacked in Philadelphia? Trying to roll The Rock out to go face Roman? You'd be kidding yourself. It's ridiculous. They were rolling the same video of him coming out on SmackDown on Friday night, and the house shows are booing him. Booing Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Booing him. I'm sure that's not where The Rock thought this was going to go. Of course, reports have come out now. Of course, The Rock is like, oh, well, I'm a business guy, and he's encouraged the hashtag We Want Cody papers to be passed out to everyone else. Obviously, to get on board with Cody. So again, at this point right now, this is why I say, if you're an AEW guy, listen, your time is coming. Okay, your time is coming. Give it time. I hate to take it from WWE, but I'm going to use it for AEW. Let them cook. Let Tony figure it out. If he's got other people around him, they're trying to figure out creative, let them cook. But until they figure this out, all you have right now is WWE. And WWE is slaying it on levels, on top of levels. You don't, if you're a fan, if you're a true fan, I'm so excited knocking my mic around. If you're a true fan, there's no way you can sit there and you can tell me you know where the kayfabe and the realness start. You don't. You can't tell me that. You don't know The Rock slapping Cody in the face was a plan? Was it? Oh, it was. Was it? Was it? Seth's reaction on the stage. I mean, I know these guys are actors. They do it on the regular. They do it on a daily basis. Obviously, The Rock is an actual actor. Okay, but these guys. So whether to take the hate that Seth has for Punk, that's real life, whether they've chopped that up and they're cool with it, Seth had some real hate on that stage. Go back and watch it. Do yourself a favor. When you're done watching us, go back. Go on Peacock. Go pull it up. Go fast forward down to I think the last 15 minutes. Go watch it. I think YouTube has just the regular clip of just them. Go look at it. Look at Seth. It's the same look on Seth's face that he has when he talked to CM Punk. Seth does not like Phil Brooks. It's known. It's not a joke. It's not like, oh, it's for... He doesn't like Phil. Doesn't like him in the business. Doesn't like him back in the company. I'm sure now they're good. I'm sure he sees Phil doing business as business should be done, which is great. But go look. Go watch. Go watch Seth's face when he's talking to The Rock and Roman. And Roman does his whole hey yo, does his best fucking Razor Ramon. You see Seth's face. He's like, F both of you, I'm done. And walks away. Was some of it kayfabe? Sure. But was a lot of it based in truth? Probably. You have to remember also, The Rock's a board member. It's not a joke anymore. Dwayne Johnson is an actor. He runs a very successful tequila company. Runs a very successful energy drink company. Also is the co-owner and creator of the UFL, the Spring Football League, and now is a very proud board member of TKO Enterprises, a joint merger of UFC and WWE. So what are we looking for here? Are we trying to run the Vince, like, maniacal board member guy who's going to use all his power to get whatever he wants? Is Dwayne going to go and make special referees and weird match stipulations for WrestleMania against Cody and Roman? Is Cody going to have to keep grabbing the brass rings and jumping leg to leg, hoop to hoop, trying to get what he wants? I don't know. What I can tell you is, and what I do know is, this presser in WWE is the hottest that I've ever seen it in a long time. In a long time. WWE's cooking, man. If you're a casual fan, if you're a long-time fan, you know this. I don't need to sit here and tell you, like, how good the wrestling is right now. If you're a casual fan and you're an AEW guy and you happen upon my podcast, listen. Give them a shot. Okay? I'm not an E-drone. I'm not a neckbeard. All right? I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm trying to be the guy. I'm trying to be the guy. Okay? I just want everyone to be united. I want to be able to have a world where all of us just talk about wrestling and be excited about all of it, and just be able to just talk about everything. Doesn't matter what federation you watch. Just want everyone to be happy about it, whatever they watch. That's all I want, man. So, with that being said, we got SmackDown tomorrow night. We got an exciting week of television programming coming up. With SmackDown, Raw coming up, AEW, all that good stuff. Elimination Chambers in 2 weeks at 5 a.m. So you can bet we'll be up watching it while you guys are sleeping. So by the time you wake up, you might wake up for the main event. So if this is your first time watching us and checking us out, my name is John Anthony. This is Chairshot Sports. Feel free to check us out on YouTube at Chairshot Sports. Also on Twitter, same tag at Chairshot Sports if you're checking us out. Oh, these darn cameras, man. I'm telling you. If you're checking us out on YouTube, please give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. Gets up into the algorithm. It's based around 60-65% of people who watch the channels aren't subscribed. So we really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. We're just starting out. We're going to have a lot of guests, a lot of me talking, funny stuff, also wrestling. Feel free to leave a comment in the bottom as well if there's something you want to hear us talk about or have any questions as well. If you're listening to us on Spotify, for you guys as well, please, if you can give us a 5-star rating and also leave us a great comment, that'd be great. Greatly appreciated as well. But yeah, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed the presser. Let's have a great rest of the week. Enjoy SmackDown. We'll talk to you guys next week.